Alright guys, welcome to another module of Scientific Rankings. In this module, I want to show you how to build pillow links to your money site. So let's start at the absolute basics, and you're thinking, what the heck are pillow links? Then let me explain that for you. Well, pillowing is basically the process of building links to your website for diversification and for trust purposes. So the simplest way of looking at it is that we're going to build some PBN links, some private blog network links that can be full of power, but they're also going to be heavily optimized. The anchor text is going to be very optimized because it allows us to rank faster and easier. So to counteract this, we need to kind of mix it up a little bit. And what we're going to do is going to build some extra links with different anchor text to really diversify that firstly. And secondly, we want to build some other links that are kind of standard, trustworthy signals to have pointed on your website. So let me dive into the 6 methods of pillowing, and you can kind of see where I'm coming at from here as we go through it. So the 6 methods. The first one is social signals. Now guys, if people are visiting your website and they're building links to your website, so they're going back to their website and saying, hey, I should link to this website now, then you're gonna have social signals. More people are on social media than have their own websites that allow them to link to you. So social signals are a very important factor to have on your website. And if you don't have them, but you have lots of links, it seems kind of untrustworthy. The second thing is press releases. Now, these aren't a necessity, but it's just a great way of going out there and getting 50, 100, 200, 300 links to your website to really just mix up the anchor text and kind of show why your site has the links and everything, why it's so popular, because you did a press release and it kind of took off. We'll cover more on that later. The third thing is social profiles. So different to social signals, social profiles are where you have your own profile registered on different social networks. So you have a Facebook page, you have a Twitter page, you have a YouTube page, and so on. If a business doesn't have these pages, it's just unusual. Like, who has a website but doesn't bother signing up to YouTube as an example? It's just very, very weird. So these are standard trust signals that you want to build. And a fourth one is Web 2.0s. You probably know about these. What this refers to more so is websites like WordPress.com and Weebly and Blogger and sites like that, where you go on it and you create your own free blog on a subdomain, and then you can blog from there and then link back to your website, which we'll cover in more detail later. And the fifth one is traffic hacks. Now, this is totally optional. It's not something that you have to do, and it's not something that I really do on most of my sites anymore. But traffic hacks is just a great way of generating traffic to your website as well as links. So you leverage in links to get traffic to your website. We'll explain in more detail as we go through this training what exactly each of these are. And the sixth and final method of building links is white hat links. Again, this is totally optional. You can rely entirely on PBN links, but you can also build PBN links and also mix it up with white hat links too, which not only diversify, not only build trust, but also actually add power as well if you get links from the right sites. So this is totally your decision, and they're going to have Dan cover this in the bonus section. I'm not going to cover this myself because I'm not really an expert at white hat links. I mostly just do the other types of links, which you mentioned before. So I'm commonly asked when I show people the types of links that I'm going to build, why we don't use any other types of links. So I put together a few slides to really break down the other types of links and just explain why exactly we're not going to be using them. And hopefully at this point you kind of understand what pillowing is. It's just a matter of building these different types of links. So it's not just 100% your PBN links going in, it's these other types of links as well to mix it all up. So the first one I want to talk about is blog comments. People are like, but blog comments are like the most popular SEO thing ever. I mean, look at Scrapebox, which is all about going out there and just building tons of blog comments, or at least that's what it's most known for, or what's most known for. It's got so much functionality in there. You can do so much with it. It's a really amazing tool. But blog comments really aren't that good links. They're not very much power behind them. And it's a very big indicator that you're an SEO if you're going out there and building 50 blog comments. Now, maybe you might have 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, or just very few on small sites. But most people aren't going to go out there and be like, oh, I need to insert my URL in there so I can get a backlink, because anyone that thinks that way is an SEO, and Google hates SEO. So it's just such an SEO thing to do. It's not really a standard thing to do that most like end users would really want to do. So I stay away from blog comments these days. You can do them. They do diversify a little bit. It's just such a big indicator of your SEO, so I recommend staying away from it, and there's plenty of diversification links available in the 6 that we mentioned previously. Another thing to mention is automation. Automation is horrible. Stay far away from anything that's automated. Stay away from automated is just the end rule there. And the simple reason why I stay away from like GSA, SER, and all these different tools today is because firstly, they just don't work anymore. I used to use GSA, SER. I used to get to, I think it was 100 links a minute, I think I optimized it to, and like building thousands of links per day, and it worked. You fire them at your Web 2.0s and stuff, and it just really powered everything up, and it ranked really well. Today, not so much. It just doesn't work. You can test this for yourself. I'm just sharing my experience, but it just doesn't work very well today. And there's just so many footprints with these tools. You can very easily have a look at someone's backlink profile. Within a second, just be like, oh yeah, they're using GSA. It's really that simple because there's so many footprints unless you really know what you're doing and set it all up right. And if you go through all that hassle, then you're just going to find out that it really doesn't work that well anyway. So stay away from any automated tools that try and like build links for you. Forum profiles. So these are extremely low quality also. And again, guys, this comes back to the absolute basics. Is it natural that someone goes out there and registers to 50 forums and includes a little link there so you can get backlinks from their forum profile? Is a regular webmaster going to go out there and do that? Of course not. They don't really care about this stuff. They don't really care about these little backlinks. So these are just very low quality links. There's absolutely no power behind there. And it just gives away straight away, you're an SEO. Now, having one forum profile linking to you is probably pretty natural, but going out there and building 50, not so much. So I just stay far away from anything that is just like screaming SEO. If it screams that I'm an SEO when you do it, stay away from it. And forum profiles is one of those things. Another one of those things is social bookmarks, and social bookmarks, firstly, just suck. Like, they're all these really spammy sites. Guys, if you want to know a good place to get links, it's wherever the spam is on. Basically, guys, when you look at these social bookmarking sites, aside from like Reddit and maybe Delicious, and even Delicious is full of spam these days, aside from like Reddit, when you look at these sites that you're submitting your site to get like a social bookmark, it's full of spam. You go page after page after page, and it's just spam. It's just full of SEOs. I've seen agencies build these links for their clients, and you look at every single link they've built, and you go onto the sites that the links are built from, and it is just full of spammy sites done by SEOs to try and get links. It is very low quality, and if you build links on low quality sites, then Google are going to think you're a low quality site also. It's just as simple as that. It makes sense. So stay away from social bookmarks because they're extremely low quality. There's very little power behind them. You're getting your site stuck in these spammy neighborhoods, and they just don't work that well ultimately, which is the main thing that you really need to know. So I will add a final note, and that you can use your PBNs to diversify your anchor text. You don't need to build diversification links, though I would pretty much say that social signals, and I would say that social profiles, are basically a necessity to rank. If you don't do these social signals and social profiles, you're not really going to rank. And you may be able to. There's exceptions to this all the time, but I just wouldn't advise it. It's going to make it much more difficult than it needs to be. So you can use your PBNs if you want to diversify. You don't need to build all these extra links. You don't need to do press releases and all that sort of stuff. But it's there if you want to do it. But either way, I recommend with your anchor text, diversifying it on your PBN links also. Like, why not? They're still going to add power there. It's not going to add as much power because it's not an optimized anchor text, but it will still add power. So I recommend doing this anyway with like niche relevant anchor text and things like that. You can mix it up there plenty. Now, the trick to doing this, guys, is to be extremely strict over your anchor text, extremely strict. You want to monitor every single link you build, and you want to monitor the exact anchor text you're using and all that sort of stuff, which allows you to see exactly how optimized your page is, which is a scientific approach. You're not guessing. You're not just building some links and just hoping it works. You have a very scientific approach of building links, seeing exactly what anchor text you're using, and then it all matches up, and you can kind of follow a specific ratio that you're aiming for. To see how to do that, check out the anchor text video, which explains full detail of how to do all that stuff. As for the rest of the stuff we covered in this video, to get more depth in that, that's exactly what we're gonna cover in this module. But let me cover the absolute basics here so you know exactly how this is all gonna tie together, because I've given you 6 ideas here of what we can use, but I wanna show you how exactly it all ties together. So let's just go through it. Well, in week 1, you're going to go out there and you're going to build your social profiles and you're going to build your Web 2.0s. These are all branded profiles and they all point back to your money site. Then from there, we're also going to build around 30 to 50 citations. And again, if you don't know what citations are yet, we'll get into it as we go through the training, but it's basically going out there and building these references of your name, address, and phone number for ranking in the local map pack, or even just building up some niche relevancy or local relevancy. In week 2, you're going to go out there and start throwing in press releases. You want to fire a press release at it to really just kick it off, get some links going, get some publicity going to your website. Then in week 3, at this point, you want to start pointing the social signals and the traffic hacks if you decide to go down that route. So the social signals here are going to come after the press release. So the press release has gone out, people are visiting your website, they're seeing it, they start sharing it on social media because the social signals are going in now, which kind of impersonates that sort of idea that people are sharing your website now. And then at this point, you start dripping the PBN links. In week 4, you're going to start dripping the PBN links in. The ratio is really going to depend. We covered another video, but maybe 2 or 3 in the first week, and then just continue dripping them week after week. Week 5 onwards, like I said, continue dripping PB links, build in more citations if they're needed, and schedule monthly social signals. So every single month we're going to have these social signals going in there. We'll cover exactly how many in the social signals video, but you want to have these consistently going to your site. So this kind of gives you like a 5-week plan of exactly what's going to happen, because I want to give you guys like a really like step-by-step detail. I'm going to explain and expand on this stuff more later, but hopefully that gives you an idea of how this pillow and stuff is all going to tie together. But for the rest of it, that's what we're going to cover in this module. So I hope you got some value out of this video, and I'll see you in the next videos in this module.